Okay, Pete, I've known you, oh my goodness, about 40 years now. And as
That
far
many?
as, yeah, and as long as I've known you, you've been an entrepreneur. And now you've introduced this new idea that you have on the 4C, Future Digital Film and Arts. Tell me about it.
Well, as I said, its roots were in the 4Cs. 4C, the future, the 4Cs, the Concerned Citizens Community Committee. So those discussions over a period of time led to where some citizens of our community got involved with the local scene, and we started developing some ideas. So one of the basic ideas was if we could set up a center, which this building is becoming, we could set up a center with some capability that we could launch a program or an experiment or a what do you call it? Like a gig, a project, to get actually the citizens involved and see where they take it to develop a 20-year concept, let's say, of what our community would look like in 20 years at a neighborly level, simple. As though Metro Ottawa grows around us. So we've all listened to citizens who try to push back against this or that or don't know or feel alienated from what's happening. So that's what we're addressing. So we're now launching the 4C Future Digital Film and Arts Association Ontario. It's a non-profit to set up a digital studio in here by which we could take advantage of internet exposure to actually challenge our citizens to, let's say, do a documentary that will consolidate the imagination of the vision of where we could see it going and create a documentary, entertaining film out of this digital capacity. And it would be sort of like Corner Gas. We have a bar, we have food, we have residential boarding house. We have everything that artists could meet, room and board, everything in place, and we could really have a dynamic project going. And basically everything now we're trying to work out of websites, McCloskeyHotel.com, McCloskeyProject.com, McCloskeyProject.com. But right now we're energizing this month a membership drive of the 4C not-for-profit to set up a membership program for the citizens to get involved. And for $20 membership, they can show their patronage and faith and their belief in it. And we're going to do an enhanced membership. 80 people we're looking for at $1,000 each for the year, where they could eat at half price. But they would be the background, like in the film all the time. They'd be the core that's hanging out here and getting the discussions going.
So they can have, the artists can be here and they can exchange ideas.
That's
Is that
right. That's right. And we could video and edit it and present the growth of these ideas into image and imagination and symbols of where we could go with our community. So that's basically now we're setting up this campaign to do the membership drive. And the $1,000 memberships, 80 patrons that would really be helping out, they would be kind of like what you see in Corner Gas on TV, where they're the ones hanging out in the restaurant or so we're saying to them, do you want to be in the movie?
So they're going to be, there's going to be some kind of camaraderie as well.
That's right. We're neighbors, we're citizens, we're talking together and stopping the divisions that are set up between us as property owners and citizens, etc., but our common vision for our community. And this vision seems to be consolidating into basic concepts of the 100-mile economy, London or Paris, the big city, Ottawa, where people come down to the counties on the weekend. We're trying to work North Dundas with our themes in liaison with the Tri-County model, Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry, with the Tri-Counties, Eastern Ontario, right to Cornwall. We're looking as Ottawa comes down on us.
And you mentioned something about membership. Well, you did mention membership, and those can pay $1,000 for that membership. Is there some other avenue that you're seeking funding from?
Well, basically, no. We want to just sell the membership drive at $20 and raise the capital there. The enhanced membership is to get people really taking part here. But with that budget, we are then going to go pursue funding, which there's all kinds of possibilities. We have volunteers, etc., on board, where we're going to try to fund our real concept where seniors are helping build a seniors co-op here whenever they're going to sort of really retire. And we want to mentor these youngins that they're the ones doing the filming and everything. And so we just want fun to get some digital equipment so they can really get to work at something for editing, etc., etc. But basically, the ownership of the building itself, the 4C Digital Film Company would be a sweetheart tenant. So we're going to partner with them, and everything's partnerships. It's a co-op. So the digital film company will have a piece of the action of the bar and the food, etc., because they're bringing the people in. But that'll help fund the digital video projects. But what we're hoping in the end is to create a digital film type of industry south here of Ottawa, that the next generation can work out of a home-based digital studio, get involved in this video studio at the higher level, but be able to actually work doing advertising, commercials, all kinds of things that they could be doing as computer entrepreneurs, when you talk about entrepreneurs. But using the computer and the internet, they could be working out, and they don't have to move to Toronto or New York.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. Is this kind of a stepping off point for young artists who want to get into the digital film area and become possibly, or build a foundation for their digital film career, that someday they might even become a James Cameron?
Exactly, but what our mandate here is to take them so young and so at the beginning that they actually find their talents and expertise in this milieu. And our goal is at the end that they could actually be doing in their life what you just said. So we're working, as I said, one word would be seniors co-op. Another word would be self-employment, a program to create self-employment. We create employment opportunity, but at the self-employment level. But self-employment, artists self-employed. Artists being able with their art, no day job, with their art to maintain their life.
Something like in Sweden, where artists are able to be supported or support themselves through their means or their artistic means. And then it sounds like to me anyway, in this venue here, that this would allow for a start of this.
But what we're doing is, because of the chance for these artists to be involved in the project, etc., and realize and express their talents, because we believe in the community spirit of it so much, we are challenging them, not just to find their talent, but to then apply it in a responsible manner as a contribution to help create this vision imagined of our community. So there's sort of a historical moment for art, where artists get together to help create something. Remember in the old days, didn't all the stonemasons and everything leave their studios, and they worked for how many years, and they built this, like something of a monument that was going to last out the Vatican or something for like thousands of years, eh? But to leave something behind, eh? And actually then the final goal will be that this digital film company will be established in here permanently, and this old historic hotel is definitely destined to be called the 4C Center. The 4C Center, which will be a municipal asset in our community for when anything comes up, we can do streaming on the internet live off of the daily issues of the citizens concerned, past all the divisions, etc., coming together.
So it may have a, ultimately a reputation like the Film Institute that's in Toronto right now, where a lot of young people go to learn script writing, or even semi-professionals go there and they learn to up their skills. And so this 4C Future Digital and Film Arts Center here could easily be starting out right now, pioneering to not necessarily replicate the Toronto Film Institute, but be something like that and be a place where young film artists can come.
Well, when you mention it like that, Mary, one of our primary goals that has come up is we're developing a liaison with Algonquin College.
Excellent.
So again, we have a resource here that can be put into their aura and the students as they're growing could have periods and relate off of the studio. So we're, again, even in Ottawa now, they've already got I think it's a 10-year vision of the city, and they're having town hall meetings and everything to get the citizens. What we have to do is get past where the citizens end up in critical times, feeling they have no voice, and they turn off. We're looking for a neighborhood built on respect. Our membership card is, we got rid of the to live and let live. Live and let live. Yeah, I live and let live. Oh, I'm so proud. I live and let live. My neighbor, but they don't want anything to do with their neighbor. Live and let live. But we're changing that into be my neighbor. Be my neighbor. And then what kind of neighborhood would that be? And the other part of this is, I said, the 100-mile economy. We're trying to link with local. We figure this is the real agricultural base here. It's milk and cheese, etc. But there's all kinds of new fresh products being developed, and just north of here into Manotick, entrepreneurs now are selling successfully high-end produce to swishy cafes in Westboro, etc. That's how we want to relate to the city with special. People come down on the weekend. We have our mountain orchards now for years now. Now there are traffic jams, Labor Day weekend, as people are coming down for the 10th year in a row from the city to go to apple picking time. This is what we want to save as part of. Now we hope Ottawa is going to grow, and it's Bank Street now from the Peace Tower to St. Lawrence. Highway 31's Bank Street, that's the future. But as it grows around us all the way to St. Lawrence, we want this little greenish bubble that we can protect and build. And we call them new pioneers, the new economy. But whatever it is, it's to have the citizens create it themselves and have a voice. And even if it's a hard slug and it gets very difficult, they won't lose hope because they have a voice. What's really bad now, where you're getting, I don't know how you describe Detroit. How would you describe it today if somebody was sitting back 30 years ago and talking to their grandchildren about the richest city in the world the richest city in the United States at that time, the height of the auto industry, and now it's like a third world, do you know, like Syria today? I just read 1/3 of the housing in Syria is gone.
Yeah.
Well,
take for example, in
Detroit,
it's the resources have become depleted, right? So you have to add something new. If you see the venue, the environment and the economy changing, then you have to add something new, bring something new.
Well, it's even more revolutionary than that, Mary. Up to now, people have been saying, I invented this one. People have been saying, at this point, we must think outside the box. I'm thinking of such a leap of thinking that one will see after it's fulfilled that let's not get to where we're thinking outside the box. Let's get where the box doesn't even exist. It's completely, Those pioneers next door to the historical site, they left the old world of Europe with their hammers and saws and whatever they could grab, and they went to the new world with nothing. And the one thing they got when they got here, they got community spirit, to work together. And that's what these villages, everything, the roots of it was. So this is the new pioneers, to start again with what they have. Now wait, whatever we have now, let's go. We're talking about, this was a typical Canadian village. We brought up this question. What happens to the mill town when the mill is closed? The mill town here, Chesterfield, it was Nestle's chocolate for many decades, and it closed. So what are we to do? Well, I say create the new economy. What happens to the town after the mill's closed? Well, we just don't want to be a bedroom community of Ottawa. We want to be a dynamic little chunk of earth that people visit and has its dynamic economy. And it's quite possible. We have so many interesting people. We want to feature artists. But mainly my whole discussion here today, we're not looking for a big construction company to come in and do something. What we're focusing on in this 4C Center is using artists. And to us, an artist is anybody who's creative. Anybody who's destructive is not an artist. So anybody that can get into helping with their artistic talent build a vision complete of what our community could look like in 20 years. That's the challenge.
I think that's a wonderful challenge, actually.
And the kids doing that movie will get real excited.
Exactly. Now, I'm just wondering, as an offshoot or an aside or addition to what you're planning to do, can people that are already in the profession come and book these facilities as a set for, such as Hollywood North type of thing? And
Exactly, it's a studio.
then the youngins that are learning here, they can piggyback possibly.
They can contract and bid for certain projects. We want to have a full-scale, it's the arts in general, the film and arts is arts. So it's not just musicians or performing arts, it's everything. We want to have a gallery, and we want to expose everything and give them publicity and artistic recognition through the internet. This is the modern way of doing it. And basically we'll be doing, we're going to have themes, etc., etc. But in the end you have, just like as if you had a recording studio in the 60s in audio, well, if a kid had a record or something, but here it's partnering. He owns it. It's not Warner Brothers or something ripping off the artist, etc. It's a co-op. But a kid could come in and get his video music done if he wanted. He could just book. We had a wedding reception. They booked the dining room. Any business seminars, any way artists can get involved and give their service, and we book venues, etc., in the resources of the building. Yeah, but mainly it's, I even had people suggesting that artists could come in here and do a 2-minute or whatever video to send to New York as an audition for something, because everything's internet connected now. You don't have to fly there and do that. So you just have to have a digital studio,
Right.
and then you can send everything out and to get a reaction, and that's basically the excitement what we have.
So it can be a set, it can be a studio for artists, it can be a jumping off point for artists that are going to be someday possibly well-known filmmakers or some other type of artist.
And it's a studio by which is getting publicity in the metro area of Ottawa, etc., of where interesting growers are growing things, etc., in the community, or where interesting other features, like we're going to be publicizing the whole Tri-County area. So when something's happening over there and there, you'll be able to see it on a calendar like scheduling, and somebody could come down and maybe take, well, they want to spend 4 days and travel from here to Cornwall and see Upper Canada Village. Well then, oh my God, you then could start woo-woo. And the Chinese, middle-class Chinese, 1.4 million visited Paris alone, and they got money. Well, if we just get this like coordinated, people go, we have like a theme there somebody wanted to do, where we take visitors on a tour of the train history. Smith Falls, the train museum, and all the way through to Morrisburg, the Upper Canada Village, and everything in between. Or interesting, we have wineries growing here. So it's just like in Europe where people come to London or Paris, go down to the counties. One of the biggest features around here is the Highland Games. Maxville this or that. I don't know how many thousands they had at the plowing match. Right next week is the Spencerville Fair. It's 158th year. The lead musical act couldn't make it, so he had to quickly scramble and he booked. But look who he booked, Blue Rodeo.
No,
And look what's happening in Ottawa with Blues Fest, etc., or Folk Fest. All those things that everybody thought were just dreams. Now, culture at that level is economically viable and brings big money into the community. So quit waiting for another match factory to come in and cut logs and make us, well, work at the mill.
I think we should wrap up with that last statement.
Well, you cut anywhere you want.
And,
Anyways, that's just winging it, eh? Then you look at it after and you mix things with and you do little over, see? That's
well,
the point.
obviously you have a vision and that can grow and it's interconnecting with the
Are you
communities
still
around here
filming?
as far as Ottawa goes. So thanks, Pete.
Anything to get you down here, Mary, after 40 years, keep you involved, and I'll feed you.
Thank you, Pete.
Okay, love you.
Thanks.
So anyways, just keep the chatter going.